In 2014, Switchpoint, a new homeless shelter and resource center, opened in St. George, Utah. To tell the story of Switchpoint's amazing growth, we enlisted the help of the residents themselves. We handed out compact GoPro movie cameras and encouraged men, women, and children to film their own Switchpoint stories.
And the person who is holding the camera is me.
It's a GoPro. I'm recording about Switchpoint and the director.
Yeah, and if the screen ever goes black, all you have to do is touch it. It's just a touch screen. But yeah, I can see you now. So.
All right.
Cool.
It's gonna be weird because I know the lighting is gonna be off. But hey, you people want real. I'm gonna give you real.
So this is a first-person account of Switchpoint from the inside out. No one was forced to use the GoPro if they didn't want to, and those who did filled out an appearance release. What we got was an unvarnished view from the Roundhouse, with perspective supplied by Carol Hollowell, Switchpoint's executive director.
Well, the city was really struggling with what to do to fix the model of homelessness that was being done. Dixie Carenshire had done a good job in the last 30 plus years, but their facility was worn out and tired and not big enough. And so they really were looking for something that would be more than just what we in the industry call a hot and a cot. And so I had been doing a lot of outreach, street outreach, and I was very vocal in the community on helping those that were experiencing homelessness. And so when we found this building, I presented my idea of a community resource center as well as a shelter.
Hi, this is Sarah Reese at Switchpoint. I'm going down here to just show Switchpoint around, I guess. Hopefully you can see my face pretty damn good. So this is Switchpoint.
When the team that came together and donated all their time, our marketing team came together and said, what about the name Switchpoint? It's a mechanism on a train track.
There you go, that's Switchpoint.
And with just a little turn, it will send somebody in a completely new direction. And everything that I'd been telling them of my model that I wanted to create, they were like, that's what you're doing. And I went, okay, I think it'll stick. And that's where the name Switchpoint came from, because of that train track. That if we could just change somebody's life just a little bit with one little switch and send them in a new direction, that maybe they would break that cycle of poverty, break that experience of homelessness. We really tried to look at all of the best practices in the nation, and I did a lot of research before we opened up to find out what was working for some. Even though there is some really set ideas of this is how it's supposed to be, I didn't want to do it that way. And we just knew that there had to be something that was better. Our idea when the city approached me and we looked at this building was to have a building that we could have resources, classes, and have it all under one roof. And that's why we're different. That's why we've housed so many more people than other shelters around the nation. Many of our clients, they're generational, multi-generational poverty, which means they were as kids in a shelter and now they're raising their kids in a shelter. And that's a tough thing to break because usually you, at that point, don't know what else that you need to do.
When I first became homeless, it was in '99. I was married with 2 kids, had an apartment, and things in my life they weren't going so well. I basically, at that point, I chose the streets over being with my 2 kids, even though I wanted to work out my marriage. There for a moment, I was on a down spiral, you know, got myself involved with drugs, alcohol, just doing whatever. Came to Switchpoint. I have a job working at Kentucky Fried Chicken to save up, get a place, and be a responsible adult like I should have been in the first place.
I pulled the eject lever, so to say, and my parachute opened here. There's a little bit more opportunity here. There's this blessed place called Switchpoint, where they actually give you some dignity, they give you some space, and they give you a little bit of freedom to get yourself back on track.
I guess I came here from Charlotte, North Carolina, and just because I've never been on the west side before, little did I know that I hate it here. You know, this is the second lowest paid wage state in the nation. It's horrible, you know. It's, you can't live here and keep your head above water. You're coming up for air every once in a while, and that's just not up to par. It's definitely not up to par.
Homelessness hasn't changed in 30 years, and if people haven't been given any other tools, then why would we keep doing the same thing over and over again?
You know, if you're not born with a silver spoon in your mouth and you're willing to work your butt off for it, you should be able to get that no matter what.
And so by talking to a lot of different directors across America, I really was able to put all of the pieces that I liked together into one model with a Switchpoint model, and feel like that gave us the best chance to help individuals break out of that cycle of homelessness.
And I guess that's all I got to say. Have a good day.
Switchpoint has helped me out a lot. I think when you come in here with a good attitude, you know what to do, when to do it. I have a favorite quote, which is from Buddha, which is, when we think something, we become it. Please consider that even though we people are here at Switchpoint, we're still trying to right in our lives depending on our attitudes. And that's all I have to say. So, peace out, Cub Scouts.
Because I kind of used to be the same way. I ignored people going down the road when I was one of the haves in my 4-wheel drive truck. And I mean, I see families here, families that you people with money ignore. You know, and they have children, and they all just want to be part of something, part of what you think you are.
Nationwide, from what I've seen, there are a lot of homeless families. Lack of higher wages. And so even though both parents might be working here, or the one parent, if it's a single family, working, it's just not enough to pay rent. And so they get themselves spread so thin that they just can't afford to rent something.
Baby Cam, it's a Switchpoint movie.
Hi! Hi!
She having a little baby cat.
Rose.
Yeah.
Rose is 2.5 and Reed is 1. Doing bad mistakes, hanging out with the wrong people, and pretty much just together just destroying our lives. Now we're trying to get back on the right path. Like, they've helped me get into housing, paperwork, showed me that my children are a lot more important than other stuff. I was really bad in the drugs. I'm 48 days clean.
Nice. Good.
Yep.
The other problem that we see is lack of affordable housing, and that is a huge problem here in Washington County. Rents are high, wages are low, and so if you have both parents working at a minimum wage job, they'll never pay rent here. They just can't afford it. And so those are some issues that we've got to face as a community to say, how do we build more affordable housing to help our working poor?
Best time to play when the sun is down. All the kids not getting along. Stop throwing sand! Hey! Stop throwing sand!
This is the men's hall. This is my room. I'll give you a tour of my room. It's a Oh. This is just a movie. That's my bed. That's my brother's bed. My mom's and my dad's.
Oh, look, it's the dads. Say hi, dads.
We really try hard to make sure that the kids aren't in a scary environment or a threatening environment here at Switchpoint. We offer some after-school classes and programming, help with homework, teaching them things on computers. During the summer, we have a summer school program to just kind of keep them in the loop and hopefully get them to their grade level. Many of them have moved around so many times that they really fall behind in their schoolwork. And so that consistency and stability that the children need that are have been chronically homeless as families, that's what we're trying to kind of give them before we can place them into housing.
So that's the kitchen. That's my brother. It's the middle of the zombie apocalypse. I'm going downstairs where the meeting's going on. This is my hideout. My hideout. I'm wearing a GoPro while riding a bike. Whoa. Yeah, it's great. You can ride the scooter. Not the bike. Time out, sir. Just kidding. Want to go downstairs with me? I bet I'll beat you down. We're running. We're running. I jump. Why would I do that?
Domo is an animated cartoon Japanese. His name is Hello Goodbye.
I'm in the smoking area. Having a cigarette. Not a whole lot of people want to be filmed, so I'm going to respect that. And yeah, smoke area is like the place to be.
Hi, I'm Jerry. Hi, I'm Lyle. I'm really Lyle.
A lot of us in middle class were brought up to feel that just work harder. You're not working hard enough. You wouldn't be poor if you worked harder, got another job. And some of these people work 3 jobs. None of them are full-time because employers aren't willing to give full-time because then they have to pay benefits. And so some of our parents have to get 3 jobs and they're trying as hard as they can to save enough money to get into housing or to afford housing if we can help them get into housing. But it's just not enough if you're just getting 20 hours from each job. And it's a minimum wage. As a holistic approach, we have to look at just more than a mental health need, a substance abuse need. We have to look at affordable housing. We have to look at higher wages. We have to look at some community support systems that come in to help our working poor. And so for us, we knew that we had to build a big enough building to accept our grocery rescue. Last year we were able to write a grant. I wrote a couple of grants to some foundations, the Larry Miller Family Foundation and the Sorensen Legacy Foundation, and they paid for our building here, which is 4,500 square feet. And right now we serve about 2,000 families or households a month out of our pantry. And that provides each household with a dry box of food that they get based on poundage of how many people are in their household. And then every week they can come for fresh produce, which a lot of it comes from our garden. But Utah Food Bank is a fabulous partner. They bring us all the food and they go to the grocery stores, pick up grocery rescue and bring it to us. And of course we get generous donations from the community to help keep our shelves full.
Gratuitous cupcake shot. Can you tell your story?
What story do you want me to tell? I'm a volunteer here. This is a heaven compared to what it used to be. We need a lot of volunteers here, a lot. Becoming a volunteer is not hard. The people are great. and you'll feel good when you go home.
Well, I appreciate you. I do.
Our volunteer force is basically our lifeline. If we didn't have the 200 to 300 volunteers a month that it takes, we would never be able to put that on payroll. They're just totally valuable asset to us.
And every day we have different volunteers. Some of them are elderly. Yesterday we had a bunch of teenagers. They came in and they fed us food. And it's, God bless these volunteers. Extremely bless them. For without them, we wouldn't be able to eat.
One of the funniest things I think I can say about complaints is usually about food. And you know, a lot of nights I would rather eat here than go home because our volunteers make amazing meals. And so when people start complaining about that and I look at them thinking, someone just made it for you, served you, you're at a restaurant basically every night.
They even have kennels here in case there's a family or a person that has a dog or a cat. They don't shun that either. If you'd like to see the kennels, let me just run out real quick and show you the kennels.
One of the things that we noticed going across America, and we visited 19 shelters last summer, was that no one would allow dogs. And we had started from the get-go allowing pets, and we had some Eagle Scouts come and build these for us. They did a great job.
I mean, they're not neglected. They're under shade, there's grass, there's houses, there's even toys. Even toys for some of the dogs, you know. Bless this place, and most of all, bless those that donate to this place.
A lot of times in a chronically homeless individual's life, the one person that will always love them no matter what is their pet, their dog. And we see a lot of service animals or comfort animals, so this gives them a chance to still keep it, but still have shelter and resources and food that they can, you know, take advantage of, but not have to give up their dog, because a lot of them, that's the only thing they got left. One of the things that we really have focused on at Switchpoint is building social capital. And social capital is really the key ingredient missing in many people's lives that are in extreme poverty and homelessness. Oh, look at that. Cute little guys. Cute little guys. They don't have the networks that people in middle class do, the friends that can line them up with good jobs or educational choices, that kind of thing. And so by kind of creating some of our things that we have done here at Switchpoint, like our garden, we're able to match up volunteers with individuals that live here that are teaching them skills like master gardening.
Do you know what I get to help the gardener do?
What? What's that?
Pick the food.
Hell yeah, that's awesome, little man.
So we're growing tomatoes.
Sunflowers, corn, cucumbers. Oh my.
So that one, this one, and that one, and that one.
How long did you stay at Switchpoint?
For about 3 months.
Yeah.
Time in doing the garden.
So was this your idea?
The garden?
Yeah.
No, it's theirs. They just asked, come and ask if anybody wanted to come from the garden, and I go, I'll do it.
Yeah. So you just moved out of here in June?
Yep, they found me a place.
Yeah. Is it nearby?
Yeah, about 45 minute walk from here.
Dennis has been with us as a resident for about 5 months, and we started the garden in about March, and he really took to it, and it just was really healing his soul as he worked alongside our master gardeners. And he was really struggling with some internal demons, if you will. And as the garden just got better and better, Dennis comes here 7 days a week, 8 hours a day, and works in this garden. And he was able to move a couple months ago into an apartment that he shares with 2 other gentlemen that were at Switchpoint. And that has given him some meaning and some value, that this helps him pay for his rent as he produces and works and is basically in charge of the garden here at Switchpoint. Now we just need some garlic and some salt.
I had fresh green beans last night.
Where's my beans?
A little onion and that.
Mmm, they're good.
It's not full of flavor. Look to them again.
Mmm, this is good. Garden looks great, Dennis. It gives us a chance to work side by side with our residents, get our hands dirty, and there's something really therapeutic about playing in the dirt.
We can remember we're part of nature. We need to get our hands in the soil, our feet in the soil. You know, plant our own food, raise our own livestock.
We house about 80 people a night here at Switchpoint, and they're very eclectic. It's a very eclectic group, and they come from all types of backgrounds, drama, trauma.
Would you mind just saying you don't even have to say your full name, just your name?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
All right.
James Lunsford here. Homeless is, how would you say, not overrated, but it's bad, man. They don't, you know, we got blessed tonight with a good dinner.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Arizona, absolutely.
Arizona, I've been there. Homeless sucks. California?
Sucks,
man. It's bad, man.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, look, you only live on donuts for so long.
Oh, yeah.
Pastries. Come on, dude. They just
stuff from the dumpster, whatever.
Right, you know, and it's just that, at least here in Utah, they feed you meat.
Feed you meat and give you a shower.
Right, you know what I mean? Clean linen when you need it.
Right.
You don't have to, you know what I'm saying?
Bless you, brother. Thank you.
God bless you, brother.
All right. We're going to make this known. Trust that.
Hey.
Part of it is people just want to be heard. And so when you do let them vent, it takes down, and we really focus on and do a lot of training with our staff on de-escalation.
Until any individual has been without food and water, you'll never respect it. Food and water is a blessing. It's not a fact. If you don't respect food and water, I'm sorry.
When someone's upset, it's usually not about that one moment. It's about a buildup that has happened throughout the day. And so they're frustrated.
Going hungry sucks. It truly does.
And it takes a lot of work and a lot of case management to help them realize that they deserve better.
Thanks to Switchpoint, I don't have to go hungry. I can go eat. And right now, it is dinner time. Love y'all. Bye.
One of the main things that we wanted to do at Switchpoint was to make sure we had a very compassionate staff that were here not just for a paycheck, but because they had a passion and desire to really lift up those that are struggling.
This is Tui. He is very famous in the football community.
They care about each individual.
I love my job. We love our job.
They put their whole heart into it. They love them.
Every person that comes through these doors are fighting their own battles. And with those battles, we try our best to help them fight those battles and strengthen the things that need to be strengthened and help them progress. So it's been a blessing.
Yeah. To me, the staff that we have here at Switchpoint is fantastic. I've had many of them from the get-go, from the day one that we opened, and that's been a crucial, tight circle that we had because they saw my vision and they wanted to be a part of that.
I love my job as well.
As we add on staff or as we add on different programs, we make sure that we're looking for those individuals who are going to still fit that, meaning that they really want to be here for the client.
I don't know where to look.
It's Lecky. Hi, I'm Randon. I'm a resident manager. Quick, who's your favorite resident manager? Me. Oh, good. Everyone, on the count of 3, who's your favorite resident manager? 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. The enthusiasm wasn't there. I don't believe them. Who's your favorite resident manager? Oh, okay. You were so close to being kicked out.
Yeah. Oh, we try and laugh a lot. If you take it too serious, we would have some just serious burnout.
Looks like I get a rider. Looks like I get a rider. Out of my way, out of my way.
Mine. I'm having one.
Oh no. Oh no. Where's Mom and Dad?
Dad's over there.
All right, right over to Dad.
This room is for AA meetings, alcoholism and support groups, and the computer room.
We offer 17 classes a week at Switchpoint, and that was an important piece to us. That's considered our community resource center. And like I have told a lot of people, we don't teach all those classes on our own. We rely on other agencies to come in and help us with those. They range from parenting classes, strengthening the family, anger management, smoking cessation, recovery. And so those tools that people can have access to every single week that live here or that want to come in from the community, they're not just limited to those that live with us. Anyone in the community can come to our classes. The programming is important to us because it gives it the well-rounded theme of a community resource center. One of the unique things that we have done here at Switchpoint is to create our own economy, which no other shelter that I have found has done that. But the reason that I thought it was a unique approach to helping our residents is to kind of start eliminating that entitlement mentality. And so they needed to earn things. So if they need deodorant, if they need a toothbrush, if they need a blanket, clothes, then they can earn it. And so what we did is we call them switch bucks, and they can earn the switch bucks by attending sessions with their case manager, cleaning their room, helping clean in the kitchen, working in the garden, attending any of our classes. So they earn those switch bucks, and then they can redeem them for the things that they want. But it gives value, and it gives them value for having performed the work. It then morphed into our thrift store. We knew we needed some unrestricted funding to help with Switchpoint, so it's not just relying on grant dollars. But there was two bigger reasons, and one of that was job training. Our clients, a lot of them, especially if they've been chronically homeless, have never been taught the skills to be a good employee, and they wonder why, if they get a job, then they're fired 3 days later. And so we decided, let's work shoulder to shoulder, and let's start job shadowing at our thrift store and teach them these are some of the things that you can't do when you're an employee, and these are the things that make you a good employee. And so that was one of the reasons. And then the other reason was to say it provides a great opportunity for people in our community to donate items that then in turn can help Switchpoint and help us meet those needs, especially when we move somebody into housing. One of the things that I've learned in the 2 years working here at Switchpoint is that social crisis that occurs when somebody has been chronically homeless. And to me, that means more than 6 years on the street they have suffered. Not only is it physically destructive, but emotionally, spiritually, and mentally, it breaks someone down.
It's hard when you sleep and somebody snores, but other than that, we get by.
It is what it is.
Yes, it is. Hey, God bless that man for that.
When they get here and they tell us, how long have you been homeless? And they say, 15 years. You know that you have somebody who's broken in every facet.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Glenda.
Yes.
How you doing, Glenda?
So tired.
We get a lot of transients that come through, and when I say transient, it means that they went from California shelter to Nevada shelter to Utah shelter to Arizona shelter, because they don't have the capacity to set roots and to figure out, how to stop what's going on, the voices in their head, and just the stress that they deal with on a daily basis.
Find some more snipes. That's what you call the cigarette butts.
Yeah.
Nice.
Snipes.
How long did you live on the street, do you think?
Ever since I was 18 years old.
You've been living on the street?
Panhandling, surviving the best way I could, eating out garbage. Me and my sister and my brother, we was all put up for adoption. They took my daughter less than 3 days after I had her. And then I found out my husband died of 2 types cancer. And then I lost my kids, and that was even worse. I've been hit by a car, I've been raped, I've been kidnapped, I've been hit in the back of the head, I've been shot at, I've been through everything. and I'm lucky I am still here. According to my my first ex-husband, I'm supposed to be dead. But he found out that I didn't die because he opened up his mouth when he should have kept it shut.
If a resident doesn't want to change their life, then usually Switchpoint isn't the place for them, because we're really trying to say, you're here and you're going to get all the tools and love and support from our staff and our volunteers, but you got to want to move on and move forward in your life and change.
They don't take away from our freedoms. They give us a few guidelines that is for the betterment of each and every one of us. I understand that. Because life is about building our own self into something better.
I got locked in. Yeah, there's locks in this place, so yeah, you gotta go in every single time up to the front office to get in and out, so it's secure.
We have a lot of different things for security, and not only does it make the staff feel safe and secure, but a lot of that is to make sure that our families and our individuals that have been in trauma feel safe and secure. Part of that is that our whole building has security cameras and locked doors.
Like I said, it's locked, so you've gotta wait for the front desk to open it up. Sometimes you even have to call them to open it up, but that's the way it is. It's awesome. It's better than out in the streets.
And sometimes that really upsets the volunteers because they can't get in, but that way we know every single person that comes into the building and who they are and why they're there. We also have the police substation downstairs, and that was from the get-go. My request to the city was, hey, we really need this because visibility means everything.
This is where you meet your case managers, police officers, and it's a police station as it says, and where you do your stuff in order to stay at Switchpoint.
We've never had to call cops for a fight. We've never had any physical violence happen between residents, and we've been open 2 years now. And to me, it's because we try and make sure that they know, listen, we're a family here. And when you move in and you're given your 1-hour orientation to be a resident here at Switchpoint, you understand that you've got a lot of backup support. You've got your case management, you've got our staff, you've got your roommates. And so if you are having a problem, you got to come and talk about it first before popping off in anger. Success stories are what keep me and the staff going, and honestly the volunteers. If you didn't see something good happen with such an intense environment, I think we would all have major burnout and leave. But to me, if I just get some success every once in a while, I'm pretty happy and know that I'm making an impact, making a difference.
Switchpoint, I shouldn't say it's a homeless shelter, it's a resource center. And how they help me with digging myself out of the hole, the situations and circumstances I put myself in and the choices I put myself in. It's been about a year that I was incarcerated for about 6 months, drug relapse again, after about a 5-year clean and sober. Carol was fantastic and instrumental on getting me in. So that was about a year ago, and within a year I am back in school getting my bachelor and master's in integrated studies, and I am successfully completing drug court and been sober for a year and a half now. I was here for about 2 months and got into my own place. So it has been a wonderful journey, and I'm still in that place with no relapse, no anything wrong. Everything in life has been going fantastic.
I did about 6.5 months in jail before I pled into drug court. I then got out, and my trackers brought me to the Switchpoint. I was really upset with it because I didn't feel like I was homeless. I was here 2 weeks before I relapsed. I went back to jail for 7.5 months. After those 7.5 months, the judge told me I could be released if I had somewhere safe to go, and I called Carol from jail. By that evening, she had a bed open for me. When I came back here, I got really involved. I got involved with helping with the community garden, with volunteering in the food bank, whatever they needed around the Switchpoint. I started at that point attending the addiction recovery meetings every night. And I found where I fit. I found all the things in my life that I've been missing. My son started attending these meetings with me. Going from there, I'm now in my own place, have full custody of my son back. I graduate drug court in approximately a month. I have 13 months sober. I still work very closely with Carol and my case manager, Judy, here at the Switchpoint. I can honestly say, like, the Switchpoint was not just a homeless shelter for me. It too was a great resource. Like, not only do they offer a roof over your head and food in your stomach, but they have classes to help you reintegrate back into society. They're amazing, and if you're willing to put your best foot forward, they will give you everything you need to succeed at life.
This is me and Tani right here. Hello, everyone.
Hi. If we just remain as a homeless shelter, we will implode. And what I mean by that is that there's too great of a need to just be a homeless shelter because we don't have anywhere to place them after. And so our future is we're working on right now a 55-unit apartment complex for affordable living. And so as we get that application turned in here in the next couple months, and then we start building, that should be open and filling up in 2018. It's only 55 units, but it's a start.
And there are those of us who try to get up and out, and you help with that, you facilitate that. It's not all about the rules that, oh, you have to meet with your case manager. It's I get to.
Yeah.
I get to. It's not, I have to clean the kitchen after meals. It's I get to. I stay here rent-free. I'm given all kinds of services and lifelines to other things in the community, and I, for one, am incredibly grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori.
Switchpoint has helped me out a lot. I think when you come in here with a good attitude, you know what to do, when to do it.
And and honestly, I couldn't have done it without Switchpoint's help.
I came to Switchpoint, which is an amazing place. The people here are awesome. They got all kind of resources available if you're just willing to access them and take the time to do them.
It's called Switchpoint for a reason. This is the point where we're all allowed to switch from what we thought we were to who we're allowed to be.
There's many nights that I cry and I'm emotional about some of these people because you just learn to love them so much. And they've gone through so much trauma. We don't do everything ourselves. We have to have the buy-in and the partnerships with all of our agencies that are in Washington County because they are our partners and they offer all those tools to the clients as well. We're just kind of the middleman, and we're that coordinated assessment piece. We've got to do a better job at including people into our society, including them into the happenings around our community.